Zadie, a stand-up comedian, performed at a night show where her jokes centered on heartbreak and her past relationship. After the show, she met her ex, Bradford, who greeted her kindly. She apologized for missing his birthday and gave him his favorite snack along with a signed copy of a book he liked. After a brief conversation, they went to pick up his girlfriend, Margo, before leaving for a weekend trip. When Margo joined them, Zadie acted distant and cold toward her, making it clear she didn't like her. After a long drive, they arrived at Zadie's mother Karen's vacation house, far from the city. Zadie greeted her mother and asked about her father, who Karen said was away on a fishing trip. Karen welcomed Bradford politely, but was distant toward Margo. She showed everyone their rooms, and they began settling in. While in her room, Zadie noticed a man arriving outside. She asked her mother who he was, and Karen explained he was a guest who was supposed to come with someone else, but came alone. Karen jokingly suggested that Zadie should try to impress him since she was getting older and still unmarried. Later, Zadie found herself tagging along while Margo and Bradford spent time together. As they talked, they saw Aubrey, the man who had arrived earlier, walking nearby. Margo invited him to join them, and they all introduced themselves. Aubrey soon realized Zadie was the woman he had seen watching him from the window when he arrived. Since he was alone, Margo invited him to have drinks with them that evening, and he agreed. Afterward, Zadie told Bradford that Margo used to be friends with her friend and hinted that she might have been involved in an HPV outbreak at their campus. Bradford dismissed the comment, knowing Zadie only said it because she disliked Margo. Later, Karen mentioned that Margo seemed to be making an effort to look good and kept urging Zadie to talk to Aubrey. After dinner, the group talked casually. Margo asked Aubrey where he was from, and he said Montreal. She then asked him what he does, and he told them he was a video game developer. Zadie kept making sharp comments toward Margo, showing she didn't like her. Aubrey remarked that they seemed like family, and Zadie replied that she didn't even know Margo. He clarified that he meant her and Bradford, but both quickly denied being family, revealing some tension between them. Aubrey later asked Zadie if she wanted to go for a walk, and she agreed. Bradford grew jealous and warned her it was late and she didn't know Aubrey well. Zadie got annoyed, reminding him that he used to go out with other women and joking that it couldn't be that bad. Bradford accused her of doing it just to get back at him, which angered her. She told him she wasn't trying to do that. Zadie and Aubrey went for their walk. Aubrey said he liked his job and asked what she did for work. When she told him she was a comedian, he thought she was joking, but she explained that it was her real profession and that people often didn't take her seriously. They continued talking, and their conversation became more personal and flirtatious. At the house, Margo tried to be intimate with Bradford, but he refused, saying it felt wrong at Karen's house since she was like a mother to him. Margo found his excuse childish. When she got upset, he suggested they get tested, which shocked her because she hadn't been with anyone else and thought they had already done that. She asked if he was seeing someone else, but he denied it, leaving her frustrated. Outside, Zadie said it was getting too dark and that she didn't know Aubrey well, so they should head back. Aubrey said he wanted to get to know her better. When they returned, Karen saw them and told Zadie not to disappoint her guests. Zadie replied that her mother should have more faith in her. That night, Margo couldn't sleep. She noticed the book Zadie had given Bradford and, while flipping through it, found a photo of Zadie and Bradford together. It made her uncomfortable. The next morning, Margo, Bradford, and Zadie had breakfast together. Margo asked Zadie how her night went, hinting that something might have happened with Aubrey. Zadie said she didn't know him well and wasn't that kind of person. During breakfast, the phone rang, and Zadie answered it. It was her father. She asked her mother if she wanted to talk to him, but Karen refused. Zadie told her father to come soon because she couldn't handle her mother alone. When she returned, Bradford suggested they play cards. Zadie offered to get them and went to his room. While there, she looked through his things and found a ring in his bag, which made her uneasy. Angry and upset, Zadie walked into the woods. A car horn sounded behind her, and she turned to see Aubrey. He asked where she was going, and she said she was heading out to buy liquor since they had run out. He offered her a ride, saying he was also going out to get some food, and she accepted. During the drive, they talked and grew closer. Zadie took a few photos of Aubrey before they reached the liquor store. Inside, she realized she had forgotten her wallet and went back to ask Aubrey for money. He was confused since she only had a deck of cards with her, but she explained that she had just wanted to buy liquor. Zadie then admitted she hadn't planned much, but liked the idea of going out anyway. After buying the drinks, she started walking home. Aubrey, surprised, asked if she wasn't coming with him. She said she wanted to walk back, But after a short distance, she realized she couldn't carry everything and returned to ask him for a ride. On their way back, Zadie and Aubrey stopped at a diner to eat. Aubrey was surprised when Zadie ordered a large amount of food and joked that she must have had too many drinks. She admitted she'd had a few. Aubrey appreciated her honesty and found himself more drawn to her. They became closer during the meal. In the car afterward, Aubrey talked about himself and mentioned that he had recently ended a 6-year relationship. Zadie was surprised, and he explained that the trip had originally been planned with his ex, so he now had to send back her things. Zadie felt bad for him and said that, strangely, that made her attracted to him. Aubrey was puzzled, and she explained that it was comforting to meet someone as emotionally messy as she was. Their conversation turned intimate, and they began kissing. When Aubrey suggested moving to the back seat, Zadie agreed, but the car was cluttered with clothes, making it uncomfortable. She suggested they wait until later that night in a better place. When they returned home, Bradford saw them arrive together, but stayed silent. That evening, Zadie put on her mother's dress. Karen wasn't happy about it, but allowed her to wear it. Later, Zadie and Margo prepared dinner together. Margo mentioned that Bradford was a better cook, which Zadie found amusing, since she knew he couldn't cook at all. Margo thanked Zadie for inviting her, but Zadie said the invitation wasn't meant for her. Margo explained that Bradford had told her Zadie wanted to get to know her better because things between them seemed awkward. They finished cooking, and everyone sat down together for dinner. During dinner, everyone talked about their jobs, goals, and favorite travel spots. The conversation was light at first, but Zadie began making negative remarks toward Margo, which annoyed Bradford. When Margo went to the bathroom, he told Zadie to stop, but she insisted she was always negative. Aubrey stepped in, saying Zadie wasn't being negative, though Bradford disagreed and said he didn't see her the same way Aubrey did. Trying to change the subject, Zadie told a wild story about a girl who once came to Bradford's room and slept there. Then she made teasing comments about Bradford having many girlfriends, which made Margo uneasy. Later, Karen noticed Bradford standing away from the group and told him that Margo seemed sad. He said she wasn't, and changed the topic by asking about Aubrey. Karen replied that she thought Aubrey might be good for Zadie if he could help her move on from him. Bradford then admitted that he still loved Zadie and cared about her deeply. Soon after, everyone started dancing. Later in the evening, the group talked again, and Bradford mentioned that he didn't view sex as a big deal anymore. He said he was now looking for something deeper, like someone who would be a good partner and mother in the future, not just a casual relationship. Zadie disagreed, saying she loved sex. After everyone went to bed, Bradford went to see Zadie. He told her she was embarrassing herself by changing her look to impress Aubrey. Zadie replied that he was projecting since he kept bringing up Aubrey. The argument quickly escalated. Zadie told him she had seen the ring in his bag. Bradford got angry and said she was always like this, but then admitted that he missed her. That made Zadie furious. She told him he had no right to say that after leaving her 3 years ago and causing her pain all this time. She accused him of not caring, pointing out that he even brought Margo along. Zadie said she still hadn't been okay since their breakup, then walked away from him. Aubrey talked with Karen, and she told him that everyone in the house was just wasting their time. The next morning, Zadie went into the storage room and found her father's things there. Karen walked in, and Zadie realized her parents were separating and that her father hadn't gone on a fishing trip at all. He had moved out because they kept fighting. Zadie asked her mother what had happened, but Karen avoided the topic. She told Zadie that she had always been childish and needed to start acting like an adult since she was nearly 30. When Zadie asked again about the reason for the separation, Karen simply said that not every marriage works out. The next day, the group went hiking. Margo argued with Bradford, saying he'd stayed out too long the previous night and that Zadie's story at dinner was inappropriate. Later, Bradford told Aubrey that Zadie was unstable and warned him to be careful with her. When Aubrey talked to Zadie, he asked if there was anything between her and Bradford. She said no and claimed she'd fallen asleep the night before, though he didn't believe her. Still, he said he wanted to see her again after the trip. Margo told Zadie there was obvious tension between her and Bradford and that he acted differently around her. She later told Aubrey that he and Zadie looked good together, but admitted she was unsure about her own relationship with Bradford. Finally, Zadie and Bradford talked. She told him he didn't apologize for the night before, but he refused to apologize, saying he meant what he said. Zadie got angry, reminding him that as her friend, he shouldn't have said those things. While Zadie and Bradford talked, she mentioned the ring, and Margo overheard. Margo told Bradford she was leaving. When they spoke alone, Margo said she'd known about the ring for months and asked why he hadn't proposed. Bradford said he was waiting for the right time, but she accused him of waiting for someone else. His silence confirmed it, and she left him. Margo left with Karen, who drove her to the airport. Meanwhile, Zadie decided to go for a bike ride, and Bradford and Aubrey joined her. After their ride, Aubrey told Zadie he was leaving. He admitted he felt like he was stepping into something unfinished and asked her to let him know what they decided. When Bradford and Zadie were finally alone, he said it was nice to have the place to themselves, and she replied that it was only because they'd driven everyone away. He asked if she was happy he was there, and when she said no, he kissed her. They became intimate, but afterward, Zadie realized she shouldn't have done it. She told him she'd spent years waiting for him, and now that Margo was gone, it felt like her turn, which wasn't right. She said he treated her like someone waiting in line for him, like at a post office. Bradford didn't get the comparison, but she made it clear she didn't want to keep waiting. They both got ready and left to return to the city. Back in the city, Zadie returned to her comedy shows, performing new jokes about love and long-distance relationships. In the audience, Aubrey watched her quietly, suggesting that their story wasn't over and that their connection was beginning to grow. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.